How transit is being made safe for pedestrians. Hi, everybody. This past month, I traveled to the central coast of California for a work trip. The town that we have zoomed in on is called San Luis Obispo, and is the setting for today's video. When I was walking around the city, I noticed some striking pedestrian infrastructure, so I decided to pull out my phone and film a few videos. Here I am walking through the Guana Park, along a path that leads to the first infrastructure of the video. The first question of today is, what is a pedestrian? To put it simply, a pedestrian is someone traveling by foot. Oftentimes, this is either on or along a road or pavement. The most basic form of transit is walking. You can travel short or long distances and even carry and transport goods. While they are often not considered as pedestrians, bicyclists are often considered as pedestrians. To put it simply, they are considered as vehicles when they operate on roadways, obeying and following the same traffic laws as cars. However, when they operate on a sidewalk, they follow and carry out the same rules as pedestrians. In San Luis Obispo, we should take note that both of these cases are true. For cyclists, they take the path of most convenience, and that may go from a dedicated bike path to a sidewalk to a crossing. I don't want to look at specific statistics and numbers, but this does a good job to show you what threatens cyclists, for example. It is just about evenly split that either a cyclist or a motorist is at fault in a car/bike crash. Some of the percentages can be blamed to simple accidents, such as running a sign or light, but a large percentage of these issues can be caused by the infrastructure or lack thereof. Before we talk about the first infrastructure of today, I want to draw attention to the population increase in the San Luis Obispo County over the past 20 years. This area has been growing quite steadily and can be attributed to things such as an ideal weather, a sort of halfway point between San Francisco and Los Angeles, or just a smaller, more affordable city option in the state of California. The first infrastructure that I filmed was on Madonna Road. This intersection may not look like much according to Google Earth, but it looks a little different than just a dirt lot now. If you can make out the name, you'll notice that it says Harvest Vista at the orchard. That will be a little hint that we'll learn more about soon. Let's take a better look from Street View in 2016. I know this says that it is French Street, but I promise it's just a Google Maps blunder. As we can roughly see on the left, there is no dirt lot, but a nice row of trees that continues down the street. On the right, there appears to be a path of some sort, and you can even make out a glimpse of water in the middle of the right tree line. This is roughly the current day view of this intersection. The bike trail on the right has seen an upgrade, being upgraded to concrete with even a little roundabout. We can now see that this dirt lot has now turned into condos and townhomes. There is an advertisement banner for the San Luis Ranch, with models now open. Here is a map of this community. They offer single-family homes, townhouses, condos, lofts, with even a space at the bottom called the Sustainable Farm. This is a video I took of the pedestrian bridge that can be seen in the middle of the map. This bridge is the only connection between the two sides of the San Luis Ranch community. This bridge travels over the San Luis Channel, and there is also no car traffic allowed on this bridge. The biggest change, however, is the pedestrian crosswalk. There are red and yellow lights with a warning of pedestrians that may be using the crosswalk. The crosswalk is of a specific design, being given the acronym HAWK. This stands for a High Intensity Activated Crosswalk. A little bit of a stretch to get that acronym from these four words, but sure. There are instructions on how to use this crosswalk, as it may be unfamiliar and confusing to those trying to use it. To put it simply, as a pedestrian, you hit the button and wait until you are informed and cleared to cross. As a motorist, it is a little more complicated, with a flashing yellow light, a solid red light, and then a flashing red light in order to proceed. As we walk this stretch and get closer to the crosswalk, you get an idea of how this crosswalk would be approached. There is plenty of signage, which is difficult to read from a distance. You get a little bit of a better idea that you slow down and take caution when there is a flashing yellow light. You stop when there is a solid red light. You can then treat the flashing red light as a stop sign and proceed once you've stopped and determined that the crosswalk is clear. Now, using the crosswalk as a pedestrian is a little more simple. It is similar to a normal crosswalk where there is a pedestrian button in order to cross. You hit this, and then you have to wait until you are allowed to cross with a white figure on the other side. Once this commences, you receive a countdown of 24 seconds, which is plenty of time for how long you have to cross. There is also a stop in the middle in case you don't make it the whole way in 24-second time allotment. The second intersection of today's video is the South Street in King Court. This is located 1 block west from Meadow Park and is along the bike path network. As we approach this intersection, you can see it is quite different from the first. This is both a crosswalk and bike path crossing, with several high visibility pedestrian signs. However, these signs are slightly special, with 2 LED panels just below the top sign. These are called RRFBs, which stands for a Rectangular Rapid Flashing Beacon. Are you enjoying the 4-letter acronym theme yet? These are described as devices to increase driver awareness, which start to blink when they're activated from a pedestrian. This is a reminder to drivers that they are supposed to yield to pedestrians in marked crosswalks. Similar to the first intersection, you push the button and wait for the lights to start flashing. You also want to make sure the street is safe to cross. However, there really isn't a halfway stopping point like in the first crosswalk. There's also a sign that explains how to use an RRFB crossing on the other side of the road. I wish there was one on the side that I started from as well, so that I could know how to use this crosswalk safely before using it for the very first time. Here is how the street and the intersection looked several years ago in 2008. The street was 4 lanes compared to the now 2, and there was no median or dedicated crosswalk. There are still some issues with this current intersection in my opinion. While there are signs to the right of the crosswalk, that is not the only marked crossing. There are the 2 additional bike paths as well. There is a button to cross beside the other bike path at the end of this video, but there are no high visibility signs or lights adjacent to the other bike crossing. I am not sure why this would be, other than the poor opinion that they are only necessarily once, or the more likely option that this solution was a less expensive one. Here we can compare the 2, one being on the left with the signs, and the other on the right which have none. For the future, I think that this is a better solution than if no additional infrastructure was added. This infrastructure makes a crosswalk more comfortable for pedestrians and makes it easier to use walking or biking as a means of transit. It also brings more awareness and attention to the drivers. San Luis Obispo has a policy called Vision Zero, which is a zero fatality goal in the city. As they say, 1 death on the city streets is too much. I think that SLO is doing a good job in making their city safer, and I felt more comfortable as a pedestrian in their community than I would have otherwise, so thank you. I look forward to the next time I visit for work and to see more infrastructure in the future. I would also like to give a big thank you to my over 200 subscribers. You are the ones that I really hope enjoy the content I create. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and I look forward to chatting with you all in the comments. Thank you.